Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Frank and Craig with us today, the former Chelsea boys uniting to answer some of your questions.
Very positive on Chelsea.
On Chelsea, yes, exactly. Now, singing from a completely different hymn sheet now.
Dispelling the myth of the paranoid out there.
Yes.
Anyway.
For the boys, with such a great backline and top-flight midfield, if Arsenal seal the deal for Gyökeres and Eze, do they have a good chance of unseating Liverpool and winning the Premier League?
Yes. Good chance.
Yeah.
Nothing's guaranteed, because Liverpool, you may have noticed, have also strengthened. But yeah, I mean, if you get a goal scorer, which everybody has agreed for quite some time now, they have needed, and obviously they signed Zubimendi. They've signed, did Madueke that deal go through? I think it did.
Yeah, why not?
I've not really heard too much else. Pointless going to you on that one, shaking your head. And if they sign Eze, he's a different type of player.
Yeah.
He's more of he's a wide player, but he likes to float inside and scores goals, assists, very tidy England international. So it would be, if they got all these players, there would be no real room for manoeuvre for Mikel Arteta for a bad season.
It'd be good for us, wouldn't it, Frank? And we talked about the fact that it was a little mediocre last season. You have a front line that has Eze, that has Gyökeres, that has Saka. That's what you want to see in the Premier League.
Yeah, of course. We complained about the Premier League and the level of it last season. That was the first time that maybe we could be unhappy about the Premier League season. To see players like that, if they settle down well, yeah, it can be very interesting. They can chase Liverpool. Let's see how Manchester City goes, and of course Chelsea. So we want an interesting Premier League season. That's the best season. That's the best championship in the world. We want the best player in the world, and we want to debate and see, you know, with the odds every week with Craig, who's going to win and who's going to finish the first four.
Frank, do you think Hansi Flick will change some things in defence? And how far will they go in the Champions League this season?
I think, well, you know, it's been kind of stubborn last season where everybody agrees, oh, no, they can't play so high and it's going to be terrible and blah, blah, blah. But he kept on doing that and he won the La Liga, so why would he change? And it worked with the player that he has.
I think that's what it'll look, wouldn't it? The way that it went down against Inter over those two legs, defensively they were so shocking. I think that's what he's going to have to address, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe, but it's one game out of a season.
Well, it was two games.
Yeah, it didn't work. Everybody. Yeah, 2 games. Yes, okay. He scored many goals. So yeah, you are beginning very picky. But the thing is he showed to the world that the way he wanted his team to play the first year that he was in charge worked at the end of the day.
But it didn't work.
So many
question
marks.
Let's get into Frank.
Yeah, but he won.
He won La Liga.
Yeah,
he won La Liga. He won everything but the champion. You know, only one team can win the Champions League.
We'll just do the same again and it will work.
No, but you have to agree that Inter Milan won against Barcelona and been smashed against Paris Saint-Germain. Do you think Paris Saint-Germain would win 11-0 against Barcelona? No, it's not mathematics. It's a human being game, and sometimes some stuff don't work. And it didn't work for Barcelona for two games. But overall, what a season they had with a risky kind of high-level defense. They exposed themselves. But it worked, so why do you want him to change the system? I don't think he will.
Every weekend I'm going to talk about...
What are you doing to the desk?
I don't know, I'm just cleaning. Bored, really. Every weekend...
That's how our viewers feel.
Thank you very much for my comment.
Every weekend, even if we're doing Real Madrid,
yeah.
I'm going to talk about Barcelona's highlight.
Oh, okay.
Just because I know it gets under the skin of Barcelona.
We've got a few
talking about high lines again. How can he be talking about this when we're super successful? It's great. It was great to watch, but it was sort of kamikaze kind of stuff. Which you're right. It was really good, but it was the Inter game showed the sort of flaws to that side of it. Otherwise, it could have been a near perfect season.
For Frank, start bench or drop. Oh, it's another team that don't like us. Chelsea's final upsets. The Champions League against Bayern in 2012, the Champions League against City in 2021, or the Club World Cup against PSG in 2025. What was the most special? What was the least special?
Go and have a cup of tea.
Well, in terms of importances of the games, I go for at the order that it is Bayern, then City, and then Paris Saint-Germain, because we don't really care about the Club World Cup. But I have to say that what they did against Paris Saint-Germain in that final, that was absolutely amazing and surprising. But still, I think the first Champions League win against Bayern Munich with a draw by late goal was amazing. City, it was interesting, but we had no fans because it was during COVID, so that was nice but strange. And it was a very good surprise, but not very important trophy comparing to the others.
I think 2012, because the City game, Guardiola went into this overthinking, didn't he? Strange lineup. You know, he played no holding.
I don't think you can take that away from Chelsea.
No, I'm not taking away.
I don't know why you're trying to.
No, I'm not trying to
poo-poo their success.
I'm not.
You're saying that City lost it and Chelsea didn't win it.
I'm saying
not nice. That's not very nice. It's your former club.
I am saying City Guardiola made a pig's ear of his team selection. It was a real shocker. Tried to play Gundogan as the only holding midfielder, and they got taken apart in the middle of the park. The win against Bayern was huge, not just because they beat Bayern in the final, but because they beat Barcelona on the way. And that was a Barcelona side that was way better than that particular Chelsea side. So just the way that they got to the final in 2012, when they were...
And they beat Bayern in Munich. Sorry, the final was in Munich on top of it.
Yeah, there we are.
Anyway,
thank you, Frank.
Enough about that.
Frank,
I've got some cleaning to do.
Mark Ogden says that his favourite American food is...
burger.
A Hershey's bar. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know what a Hershey bar is.
It's
I've never been there.
It's a chocolate bar. It's not very nice.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I know. Okay, wow. Well, he's English, so you know.
No, but we have nice chocolate in England.
You know. No, we have no chocolate, but you know nothing about food. In France, we know nothing about music. In England, you know nothing about food and wine. So we keep that.
Yes.
We love each other or we hate each other, but let's say that the music is in England and the food is in France.
Yes.
Let's say. But no, well, Hershey bar. No, I don't know. I like Mars and. Whatever it can be, but I don't like Hershey bar. No.
Augie never had much thinking outside the box there, did he? A Hershey bar.
No. But there you are, it's very Augie. How long do you think Xabi Alonso lasts at Real Madrid, Craig? More than a season or a quick exit?
Well, I would say the odds are more than a season. However,
it is Real Madrid.
There is a percentage of a quick exit in there.
Yeah.
Because it's Florentino Perez, it's Real Madrid, it's player power, it's results, it's Barcelona. I mean, if Barcelona do what they did last year and come out the traps like that and play like that, and Real Madrid are spluttering, does Florentino Perez go, well, this is a rebuild, I'm going to give it a bit of time?
Well, he's never done that before.
Exactly. So I'm going to go 70% for seeing out the season and a bit more, and I'm almost a third that if it goes pear-shaped, he'll get binned.
Well, that's 33%, isn't it?
I said almost a third.
Don't think you did.
I got the almost.
Don't think you did.
I did.
Frank, your percentages?
I want him to be successful. I mean,
it's not about your wants, it's about your needs. What will happen?
I want to believe that he would be able to change things and change the mentality of the two superstars. That's the secret of it. If he doesn't change the mentality of the two superstars, he won't last long, because he won't be able to change them, he won't to substitute them or to put them on the bench, and he will have to deal with them, and it won't work. It won't work, so it's not going to last long. So hopefully, it will have the secret messages or speeches to make sure that they're going to understand and they work with the others.
Did you give me percentages in that?
Well, I give you 75% that he's going to last
a season.
Longer than
a
season.
So 25%. Craig, should Amorim walk away this summer? He's just had enough already.
Sponsored walk.
He's only signed Cunha, and in Mbeumo, what if that doesn't go through with Sancho, Garcia, Rashford still at the club?
I don't know. You look at what everybody else is doing, all the sort of so-called bigwigs in England. the big cheeses, the ones that United should be in amongst: Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Newcastle potentially keeping their best players. And what are they doing?
Yeah.
Flapping around still.
I know.
With a manager that... Are you telling me that... Is anybody looking at Ruben Amorim, if you're a United fan, if you're on a United board, if you're a United player, is there anybody looking going, hey, this guy was great in Portugal. Isn't that great? They're looking and going, he has been disastrous in his time in England because he won't change. He won't change anything. He's steadfast, and his results were borne out. Where did they finish? Fifth bottom of the league. I think Tottenham finished fourth bottom. Ange Postecoglou obviously got the sack, won the Europa League. Their results were horrendous, and he changed nothing. And so there can't be a lot of confidence in what, never mind in the squad, but in terms of what he's bringing. Because what's he going to do next year? Is he going to start the season and say, hey, I'm holding my hands up? You know, the last 2 years, or whatever it was, the last year, when I said I'm never changing, well, I'm going to change. And things are going to be different. He's not going to do that. So why would results be dramatically different with a kind of similar playing squad? I don't see it.
Final question for you, Frank. As good as the new signings are, Liverpool is running into a situation where half their side may not have played with each other. Would they still be considered favourites, or would this pose a question mark next season?
Well, you know, last season we wonder with the new coach how they would deal, and they got the title. So I want to believe that Slot will find the magical way of making that team playing together and knowing each other very well, quickly enough to not lose points at the beginning of the season. But football is a worldwide game, and everybody knows how to play football. And if you listen to the coach and the tactic and your teammates around you, it should work. You know, I was barely speaking English with Craig Burley when we played together, and we handled it. So
yeah,
it can work for the others.
You're barely speaking it now, aren't you?
And that's it. That brings us to the end of today's show. We'll leave you, though, with news that England are through to the semi-finals of the Euros. We've been to cover it during the show, but obviously it went to extra time and penalties. They were 2-0 down against Sweden at one stage,
but
fought back in the second half. No goals then in extra time, saw it go to penalties, and the defending champions then make it through to the semi-finals of the Euros, where they will face Italy, of course,
they will be knocked
after
out.
that dramatic win against Norway. Meanwhile, the other side of the bracket kicks off tomorrow with favourite Spain taking on Switzerland, and it's the big one, France against Germany. That is it then. That brings us to the end of today's show. ESPN FC back on your screen tomorrow. 2 days in a row for Craig Burley. Good luck to Kay. You'll be moaning by tomorrow.
I'm in Saturday.
You're in Saturday as well?
Yeah.